run support this season.
I didn't think it was that tough. I led the team. The field, you talk about being bigger. I mean, the gaps are bigger, but it's still, I mean, if you get one, it goes out of the ballpark. So, and yes, I really despise the Phillies.
It's not that tough. I mean, I hit the 30 grand slam here. I hit the 30 too.
Well, it's something that we're aware of, and that we tried to make a big deal of it. I think last year, our main approach in spring training was trying to use the whole field, trying to use the opposite field, trying to, become good hitters over there. And that may have taken away from some of our power and our aggressiveness. So the adjustment we're going to make this year going in, I can tell you that's one of the things we are going to do is we are going to work on trying to use more of the whole field, not the other side of it, but the pull side of it as well, and trying to drive the ball a little bit more. Yeah, I hate the Phillies too.
National League purist.
You're a Met fan, Hojo. The Mets winning is number one on your list. The Yankees losing is a real close second.
Absolutely.
Yes, Tom from Ridgewood, Queens. Tom's question is for everybody.
Yeah, this question for everybody. Hojo, you're last on the list. Ron Darling may be first. But I want to know, each and every one of you guys, I want to know what your most hilarious moment in the locker room was in your career so far.
Now G-rated.
I'm telling you G-rated. I don't tell the G-rated stories. Boy, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I think, didn't we used to do, you still do the lift? They used to do this thing where I know that John Franklin used to do it all the time when he came here. And what he would do is an unsuspecting fan that was brought into the clubhouse would think that it would be great. I'm going to meet all of my heroes and get in, and someone would go up to the fan and say, hey, listen, you're with so-and-so corporation. Oh, that's great. Have you ever seen the dead man lift? And the person would go, what are you talking about? I can pick up 3 people just by myself. And the person goes, BS, no shot at picking up people. So what happens is you get one of the players on each side of the fan, they interlock arms, they interlock legs, and when John Franklin gets over and he's about to lift him, he puts on the belt that he used to use when he lifted weights, gets over, he tugs at him, and then the entire team spills everything that you can on him, from mayonnaise from the fan that comes in the clubhouse. Those are always some great moments. I do remember one time, Tony Ferraro was a really good friend of the Mets and the Yankees who just recently passed away. But because of baseball, fans always love to send birthday cakes. So literally, because of all the players and coaches, there seems to be a birthday cake in the clubhouse every week. I remember Tony Ferraro came in, and Kevin Mitchell went over to him and said, boy, this cake is sour. So he goes, what? He says, smell that cake, I think it's sour. Tony Ferraro put his face down, Mitchell threw his face in the cake. His nose. That kind of happened close. Go ahead,
John. What? What's the matter, John? You don't have a funny moment?
I think for me was when we clinched the playoff and we were full of champagne in the clubhouse. That's my good moment.
The funniest thing, Murph, that you've seen so far?
We dressed up in Speedo outfits in 08. And like cocktail waitresses this year. That was pretty good.
I don't know if it's funny or not, but we, me and Parker kind of like to go back and forth and make fun of each other. And I guess he got on David Wright one day, and this is in the spring last year, and we had enough of Pelfrey, so when he was out working out, we took everything in his locker, his clothes, and we wet it up and we froze it. And,
That's a good one. I tell you, a funny thing that happens nowadays because of the video rooms right there. is I come in there between innings. I'm watching, you know, Omir's last at bat or Murphy's last at bat. There's 4 computer screens in there, I think. And on the far one, every time we go in there, John Maine and Mike Pelfrey are sitting there dialing up the home runs that they hit. No, but he's got his like on replay. Here, take a look at this. And then Pelfrey's, you know, got it with one of his hits or something, and they're just of all the things, you know. And then the other thing they do is they like to. I always make a joke with them. I say that 90% of the balls that are argued are balls, are not strikes. So these guys are always trying to show me wrong. So they come up and they find all the little replays of the pitches that were strikes that the umpire called a ball, and they want me to, you know, comment on that. So they're always trying to prove their case.
Also, one time, I think it was 2008, when we leave spring training, we put our name on a list, have our cars sent up to you know, up to New York shipped, and Perez had 2 cars for some reason. I don't know why. So just to mess with him, yeah, he had
one is high and one is low.
There's 2.
Both personalities.
He got more cars. We each had put our car up there because, you know, they make arrangements to have our car shipped up for us from Florida to New York, and just to kind of play a joke on Perez, because he'd do things like he'd stick, he'd empty a bottle of shaving cream in my way bag, and just, you know, little things like that. I'd cross his name off the card list. And the last day, that actually messed up everything, and there was like 6 or 7 of us that didn't get our car for about 3 weeks. I had 3 more guys that get their car, and that's just...
The things that happen in the clubhouse, I know for Howard, this is going to bring him back to a really bad scene. In the 80s, early 80s, when Frank Howard was our coach, Frank Howard, 6'8", 280 pounds, and he loved to lift weights early in the clubhouse with doing his curls in just his jock strap. And it was the most ugliest sight. And we're like, Frank, put some clothes on. Let's go. Shake yourself. Alex, one more question, I think.
Yes, I have Brian from the Bronx. Brian, your question is for Daniel Murphy and Howard Johnson.
By the way, I'm the only Met fan in the Bronx. My question just goes to Murphy. You and David Wright are my favorite players, and I just want to know, as your approach, do you consider yourself more of a home run or just a single base hit guy?
Doubles. I think that, like we've talked about, Hojo and I think he tries to incorporate in the entire offense is how many times can you hit the ball hard. And if I have, you know, hopefully next year 550, 600 at bats, if I can hit the ball hard 300 times, then enough of those are going to go out of the ballpark, I think, to make us all happy. So for me, it's trying to have a good at bat and hit the ball as hard as I can, as many times as I can, and hopefully at the end of the year, you know, we've got 95 wins.
There you go.
Everybody, I want to thank John Maine. We're wishing him 15 wins at least next season. For 92 games next year. Murph for 300 season with some pop. How would that be? 30-30. Omir Santos, maybe a home run off Rivera. You right? And Hojo get another ring. That's it. What a turnout, right? Amazing turnout. Thank you very much to the fans. Thanks for the great questions. And, great party here. Continue. See you guys later.